Hello and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. I absolutely love Kerbal Space Program and I've been wanting to record some for so long, but I've just been kept getting distracted by things like Subnautica. I've been playing Overwatch like there's no tomorrow, Hearthstone, everything's just been getting in the way. But now I've finally got time to record some Kerbal Space Program. I've been wanting to do this for so long. Oh, I'm so excited. Right, let's immediately jump in. I've got a plan for Kerbal Space Program, and I've played it a lot. I've got about 150 hours into it, but I've never really made it out of the Kerbal's kind of system. So I've landed on the moon, I've landed on Mommas. I've never made it out of there. I've never made it round the sun to, say, Duna, for instance. So I think in this series, I'm not going to stop until I make it to Duna. So if we start a new game, we can go Korea. Well, what should we call this one? We'll call this Duna Satellite. I don't care if it's manned or not. Just get a satellite in. I have no idea if that's how you spell satellite. I'm going to make sure it's not how you spell satellite. There we go. Difficulty options normal. Yeah, we'll keep that at normal. That's fine. It's absolutely fine. Right. We need a flag. A flag for Duna Satellite. What sums up us trying to get out of Kerbin and never make it back? Could go with Goliath Nation. No, Kerbidine? Not really. Trippy. Oh, look at that flag. Trippy. It's beautiful. Let's go with Trippy. Excellent. Right. Let's start the game then. So yeah, I've put a lot of time into Kerbal Space Program, so I know how it all works. Hopefully I won't suck too badly. I say hopefully, because there's a very good chance I will suck incredibly badly. Okay. Gene Kerman. Nice to meet you. I'm Gene Kerman, Flight Director and your guide for this quick introduction. This is the Space Center. From here you can manage all aspects of the space program. Feel free to have a look around, hold the right mouse button to move the camera, or use the arrow keys. Right-click over the Space Center facilities to view more about them, and left-click when you're ready to head inside. If you need more information, check out the training section. I don't need training. No, I'm pro at this. Wow, those arrow keys really move quickly. Holy hell. I've had farts that move quicker than that. Okay, so I think the first thing we need to do is mission control. So let's go in here. So launch our first vessel. We can take to 2 contracts. Nice. Okay. So launch our first vessel. We get a grand advance, big bucks, 2 grand to complete it, and if we achieve the goal, we get 3 grand in total. Okay, and I think gather scientific data from Kerbin as well. Excellent. Right. So vehicle assembly building. Let's crack straight on. Welcome to the... screw that. Can't be bothered. Right, so the first thing we need is a pod. So a Mark 1 command pod. Let's get that there. Oh, I'm loving the flag on the side of that here. All Kerbals look stone, so I think it's perfect that that is what is on the side. Let's get our solid fuel booster. It's good. We need solid fuel when we're not in space because it doesn't need an oxidizer. Good. We are going to need some kind of aerodynamics. Let's get a couple of fins on there. We're going to want some science. So let's get a couple of mystery goo. In fact, we'll get 3 mystery goo containers on there because we can do 1 at the launch pad. We can do 1 mid-flight, and we can do 1 when we land, which hopefully should be a different biome. All of these count in different biomes. We'll put 4 on just to keep it symmetrical. Of course, my OCD will kick in, and I'll cry. Excellent. Utilities. Let's get a Mark 16 parachute on there. Look at that. First vessel built. The beauty. Look at it. What shall we call it? Mommas Lil Rocket. Enter ship's description. Can't be bothered. Right, Mommas Lil Rocket. Who have we got piloting this crew? We have got Jebediah Kerman, pilot. Pilot provides assistance in flying the vessel. Really? Would have never guessed that. Ooh. We can also use an engineer, capable of repairing broken parts, if at all possible. I've never really used an engineer, because I find that if you don't land properly, it explodes. If it explodes, you can't really repair it. And people die. Lots of people die. Scientist can boost the value of data from science experiments. They're useful because it means that you only have to take up 1 of the science thing, because they can reset it and you can reuse it again and keep the same science data. We've got a second pilot there just in case the first one dies, which is highly likely. And before I forget, let's go back to the build. Let us stage these, because we're alright with the parachute going off and the rocket flipping round, crashing straight into Earth, and Jeb's dead. I'm also going to make a point. I'm not going to reset any of the flights. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. We have to land it again or leave it in space. I'm going to play this till I either go broke or get into Duna's orbit. I'm even going to try and land on the planet, but you never know. That might happen, might not. Okay, excellent. So, first things first, let us do a crew report. So a crew report, you record the crew's assessment of the situation. Excellent. We're at the launch pad, so people should already know what the assessment is there. We could do an EVA report, which is that. I don't think a spacesuit was entirely necessary to get here. Well, you're fucking wearing that spacesuit, aren't you, Jeb? Observe the mystery goo while we're there, and while I think on, you can only do one crew report or it overrides it. But, neat little trick, if you take data, then store the experiment to get it, then it doesn't think that that's a crew report anymore, so you can do another one while you're in flight. Yeah, let's turn the SAS on from T key, throttle up to max, and boom! Yeah, Momma's little rocket is going into the atmosphere. Let's observe mystery goo. Let's do another crew report. Keep all these experiments and let's try not to die. Excellent. So Wilfer's milestones. We have performed an EVA test at home. We have broken a speed record of 25 meters per second. We have launched our first vessel, broken another speed record, broken an altitude, broken a speed, broken a distance, broken an altitude. They're going to keep going on and on. Excellent. And then let's make this guy car sick, shall we? So let's point this nose down and spin! Woo! Spin me! Woo! Spin me! Oh, that must be not pleasant. No, that's not going to be very pleasant, is it? Look at that face. Look at it. That's all you need to know. He's eating those mushrooms before we set off. That guy's loving life right now. He's tripping balls, flying through the air, hurtling towards the ground at 170 meters per second. That is very quick to be coming back down to the ground at. So what we'll do is we will pop the parachute. Woof! And this should brighten us up. Come on, brighten us up. Come on. There we go. Oh, no, we're spinning around again. No, it likes it the other way around. Fair enough. It can stay the other way around then. Doesn't bother me. And the parachute should deploy any second now. Come on. Oof. There we go. Oof. We're not slowing down. Yes, we are. We're slowing down. Excellent. Good. We don't want to go crash it straight into the sea. And I'm going to speed this up. Right, let's observe the mystery goo again. For some more science, baby. Keep experiment. We will do an EVA report of me. Ooh, graphic bug. See the seabed. Look at that. How strange is that? There's a hole there. I wonder where that goes. Anything nice down here? Doesn't look like it, does it? Let's get the water back. Let's do an EVA report. So that's another 3.2 science. Take all these and store them all. Get back in and we can run a crew report. Keep the data experiment. And I believe we are good to go. Right, let's recover the vessel. Excellent. First flight a success. Woohoo! That's it. Game over. We're stopping there. We're not really stopping there. Okay, you've got to put up with this for a while yet. Excellent, he's got 1 experience. Right. So, now we've done 2 missions. So I think the next ones are Escape the Atmosphere, bigger payout, and Orbit Kerbal. Now we should have a lot of money now. 163,169. That's 225. We can't afford that yet, but we can afford to upgrade the launch pad. So we can now max vessel weight of 140 tons, 36 meters, 36.9 meters. Okay, that's fine. And we need to go to research and development and research some bigger, better engines. These things are going to fire us further, longer, harder, stronger. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyway, the 2 hot thermometer, that's a good one because that's more science. Let's take that. We've still got 33 science left, so I'd say we want to go for... Now, we can go for the press barometer and get more science, or we can go for the rocket and get further and potentially get more science. I think we'll go for survivability, because that comes with the service bay. And the service bay means that we can put things in the service bay. Oh, we can even get the radial decouplers. That's good. We can put things in the service bay and they'll survive re-entry better, which is nice. And let's have a look mission control. Mission control's already sorted. We've done the launch pad. We can upgrade mission control if we want to, which means the tracking station upgrade required for flight planning. We're not going to be doing any flight planning just yet because it's not too hard to get into orbit. Or at least out of the atmosphere. So let's go to the vehicle assembly building. And let's ditch this straight away. So Momma's little rocket's done its purpose. Got us into the air. Done our first couple of contracts. Now we're going to put another Mark 1 command pod here. Pod. Mark 1 command pod, yes! And this one is going to be called Momma's Big Rocket. Yeah, this is your mother's favourite rocket. This one goes long, goes hard, goes all night, baby. Goes all night. I can't go all night. Anyway, enough about my personal life. Let's get a radial, not a radial decoupler, a stack decoupler. No, that's not right either. What we need to do is get the service bay. It's the service bay. Let's open the service bay up. Now we can pack the service bay filled with science. So we'll get 3 mystery goo containers. Now these are upside down, so let's just rotate those round. Pop those there. We'll get 3 press barometers. And pop those just in the corners there, wherever they snap in. They're a little bit sticking out, but that should be fine. And let's get the 2 hot thermometers. And pop those right there. Excellent, now it's packed full of science and sciencey stuff. Science that we can do the science stuff with. As we go higher as well, we're going to want these radial mount drogue chutes. These are smaller parachutes, but they're a lot stronger. So they're half the size of the bigger one, but they will deploy at a higher altitude, and you can deploy them faster, so you can slow yourself down quicker, so that when you do eventually come hurtling back into the atmosphere, you know, smoking the reefer, because the Kerbals are all like, woo, yeah, man, then they won't burn up on entry, even though I don't think they'd care. Alright, coupling. So let's get, actually, do I have a heat shield yet? A heat shield might be nice. I do have a heat shield. Nice. Alright, let's get a heat shield on there. Let's get a bigger heat shield than that on there. There we go. Right. So that's going to be the standard top half of our rockets for pretty much until we are looking to get to like Mimnus or the Mun. These should, you know, cope with that. And we want to add now. We've got the coupler on, so we want liquid fuel, because although we have to keep an eye on the parts as well. So we want the liquid fuel tanks for when we actually get into space, because there's no oxygen in space, funnily enough. Pop those on there, and let's pop that on the bottom. Now we've got 22 parts available. We're going to need 3 fins and 3 engines. So that's 6 parts. Actually, the coupling as well, I believe, counts. So what we'll do is we'll make 369 is going to make 31, isn't it? Yeah, so that's not going to work. Okay, we'll go 2 at a time. 2, bang. Pop them there. So these radial decouplers, the solid rocket fuel boosters will burn out before I launch this or I set that engine off. Those things, fire them off at the side to start, you know, bombing Kerbals and killing them on the ground, you know, because I'm there for every Kerbal kind. I'm boldly going where no Kerbal's gone before, but at the expense of people on the floor. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. Quite happy that it did though. Excellent. So these are the 2 side engines. These rocket boosters will get us off the ground to start with. They're a little high up, but it doesn't matter. And then we'll pop the bigger winglets on. We might get away with 2. Or yeah, we'll go with 3, because 3 seems to... That's 4, but never mind. Okay, I think that's ready to go. Let's have a look. So those will burn, those will deploy. I want that to start straight away. That'll deploy. That'll burn off. Those will activate, those will activate. So it's this stage that goes first. So strangely enough, stage 4 goes first. Then it's 3, 2, 1, 0, like counting down. It's going to cost us 16,000, which is not too bad for Mama's big little rocket. And I believe I've seen something in this this shape in your Mama's drawer. Yeah, I think she likes that kind of a shape, you know. The main thing and then a little tickler on either side. Anyway, let's launch this bad boy. So let's go. Launch. Let's send Jeb into space. Yes. I think space is 70,000 kilometers in the air. I think it's kilometers. Or 70,000 meters? I think it's 70,000 meters. 70,000 kilometers would be a lot higher up in the air. Okay, because, let's get rid of those, I don't like looking at those. Because we now have the thermometer and pressure gauge, we can right click on that, open the service bay, go into the press barometer and log the pressure data. So that'll give us some science. We'll get some more science by logging the temperature. We'll close that bad boy back up. We will put the SAS on. This is like a stabilizer. So it means that Jeb will hold the plane in a straight line. And we, well, rocket, not plane. And we won't go flying off to one side. And let's launch. Yay! I'm gonna fly you to the moon and back if you'd be my baby. I'll stop singing. I can't help it, I swear. Okay, we're going very fast now. We might even peak 400 meters per second. But the air resistance seems to be and we're off. Oh, let's throttle that up to full. And let's turn this. In fact, let's have a look on the map first, see how high I'm actually going to go. Let's turn. Because we don't want to be going too straight up. Otherwise, we'll burn up on re-entry. So let's angle it to about there. Let's just keep burning up until we run out of fuel. Make the apoapsis as high as possible. Higher the better. I think it's 250,000 meters to breach. Well, considered to be in high orbit. But I'm not too sure. So let's get into space. Time warp that. Up to 70,000 meters. Broken a few more land speed records. There we go. Contract parameter complete. Escape the atmosphere. Lots and lots of money. Now we can do a crew report for 5 science. We can't do an EVA report because we need to upgrade the astronaut complex. But what we can do is open the service bay. Observe mystery goo. For 10 more science. Log the pressure for 12 science. And log the temperature for another 8. Close that bad boy back up. These liquid fuel tanks are all empty. This is now useless, so boof, let's get rid of that. Let's speed this up to the peak, which is about there. And if I open this again, is this considered high atmosphere? I cannot remember. Observe mystery goo. Well, it's based near Kerbal. No, it's not. So there's no point us. Oh, I could have reset that. Reset goo canister. There we go. So there's no point us doing anything else while we're up here now. We've just got to make sure we don't die on re-entry. Okay, coming back in. Coming back in. Coming back in. Fast and hard. Let's pray to God that these chutes work. These chutes don't work, I'm screwed. Oh, I've got my doggo next to me. She's watching me record. It's adorable. She really is adorable. Funny story about Bella, actually. It turns out she gets really bad car sick, and I found this out in quite an inconvenient way. I was doing a long drive back up north to visit my mother, and I thought I'd take the dog along with me. So I did. I took the dog in the car. She's been in the car before. She was absolutely fine in the car. This time she gets in the car, she sits down on the back seat, absolutely fine. We're getting to roughly halfway up, and all of a sudden I start seeing lots of drool coming out of her mouth, and I'm thinking, oh no. What's wrong? What's wrong with her? Can we in fact make it? And it turns out we couldn't. 5 minutes later I hear this almighty and the dog has vomited everywhere. Like there is food chunks all over the back seat. She managed to get 70% of it in a bowl, to her credit. She actively aimed to not vomit on the seat, which was, I thought, you know, I didn't realise dogs did that. Turns out my dog does. I must have some kind of genius super dog. But she'd managed to vomit all down the back of the passenger seat and into the footwell. And I thought, oh no. So we pulled over at the services. I got her out. I made her sit down. I tied her up. I cleaned everything back up. Got her back in the car. I thought, right, that's it. She's done now. We can continue. We'll get there absolutely fine. So we keep driving. And I look in the rearview mirror again 20 minutes later. And what do I see? Dog panting heavily. I'm thinking, not again. Surely there's nothing left in the tank. No, this time it wasn't food. This time she decided to throw water instead. Blech, all over the back seat again. And I'm there driving away thinking, oh God, that's going to be a nightmare to get out. Going to be an absolute nightmare to get out. And it was. We get to my mother's house. We clean everything up. We have a good weekend. It was a lovely weekend. But I thought, I'm not taking this chance again. So I went to home base and I bought a massive tarpaulin. This thing covered the back seats. It covered, almost down into the footwell. It was perfect. I cut holes in it for the little seatbelt harness we got on her. Started driving back. I didn't feed her in the morning just so she'd get back fine. Halfway down back to where I live, and bleh, all over. And I thought to myself, right, the tarpaulin's done its job. Had it? Bollocks, done its job. She managed to find the 1 square foot of floor that I hadn't covered in tarpaulin and completely drench it through with vomit. She then spent the rest of the journey sulking about it, which is understandable. If your dog feels ill, she's going to sulk about it. But she didn't sulk like a normal dog. She didn't lie down and give you puppy eyes. No. She decided to put her head on my shoulder while I was driving and rest half her body weight on there for 1 solid hour. The drool on my jacket was unbelievable. I was covered in slobber. The back seats were covered in vomit. My missus was raging at me. Oh, it was an absolute mess. But she is the cutest little thing you've ever seen. I'm going to put a picture up on the left-hand side of the screen now just to show you what the end product was. It was glorious. Anyway, let's get this ship back to Earth. So let's speed this up a little bit. Because I've realised I've just been ranting on and we've not even landed back on Kerbin. Not Earth, Kerbin. So let's crash down there, baby. Boom! Contract complete. World first milestone. What's it like up there? We hope it's fun because you're coming back very soon. Excellent. Broken a land distance record. Broken a land distance record. We are loaded. Let's open this now. We can do... we can log pressure data while we're in the water as well, which is awfully nice. Where is the other thermometer? Is that it? Nope, that's review data. That's log temperature data. There we go, 3.2. Excellent. Okay, let's recover vessel. Recover vessel. There we go. Get there in the end. So yeah, turns out I've got a car sick dog. But she's adorable, so I'll let her off. Alright, 73 science. So we are looking good for science. We are looking good for funds. Jeb didn't get any of the experience because I don't think we're going to orbit. But now we can buy some bigger fuel tanks. So what we'll do is we'll buy the Thumper fuel tank. That leaves us with 50 science. And I think struts, I'm not sure which one to go for next. Maybe the Rocker. No, we don't need that one. We could do it the Science Junior because that does give us more science. But what we want to be realistically doing is getting into orbit and staying in orbit. And we're going to need bigger fuel tanks for that. And we're also going to need more power. But then we also need the science when we get up there. Oh, it's very difficult sometimes to decide what you're going to do. I think I'll go for advanced rocketry. That way, straight up to fuel systems next, and that allows us to go a lot further, because that external fuel duct is an absolute godsend. Absolute godsend. Okay, what did I just click on? Vehicle assembly building. I don't want vehicle assembly building. What I want to look at is contracts. Mission control. Let's have a look. So what we got here? What have we got active? Orbit curving still active. What else? Hold a Mach 16 parachute in flight over curving. I mean, that I can do. Oh, it's test it, not haul it. Okay. Haul a TD12 decoupler. Well, that shouldn't be hard. I've no idea what a TD12 decoupler is, but screw it, we'll haul it up anyway. But I think I've just clicked something else again. Oh, that's the map. Yeah, of course, got it. I think we'll leave it there for now. We managed to get our first couple of rockets launched. We've got 240,000 big ones in the bank, and we've got lots of science on the way. So, if you'd like to see me run more Kerbal Space Program, I'm probably going to release this once a week, just to see how it goes on, to see if people like it or not. I've got the main aim of getting to Duna, but if you like this, please leave a like, and I'll keep going with it, and we'll see where we get to. We might even get further than Duna, you never know. But anyway, yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that shit you're supposed to do. Or at least you want to do. If you don't want to do it, fine. Don't really care. I do care. Love you guys. And I shall see you in the next episode. Ta-ra!